What if I told you that social media can get you into heaven? Hi, I'm Zach, and I am a self-proclaimed social media addict. In fact, I've had an iPhone since the 6th grade, and I've constantly maintained an Instagram, Facebook, and Snapchat account. I left it all behind in 2017 when I embarked on a 2-year mission to Indonesia. And boy, it was tough at first. I experienced many withdrawals, but with time, I was able to turn outward. And I developed a love for building deep, rich relationships in real time, face to face. Unfortunately, when I returned home this past May, I went cold turkey back into my old ways. I immediately purchased the latest iPhone, and I promptly reinstalled all of my social media apps. After 2 years of turning outward, I had turned inward again, and I wasn't happy with myself. So over the past year, I've been contemplating the vices and virtues of social media and how we can use social media in a meaningful way. As of 2018, social media users worldwide spend an average of 136 minutes per day on social media, a 61% increase since 2012. This, of course, was by design. In fact, the former vice president of user growth at Facebook, Shamath Palihapitiya, said, quote, "I feel tremendous guilt. The short-term dopamine-driven feedback loops that we have created are destroying how society works," close quote. So the question remains, just how bad is social media and its dopamine-driven feedback loops destroying our society? Well, let's take a closer look. The average American lives for approximately 79 years. Now, if you were a good boy or a good girl, and you didn't start using social media until you were 16 years old, you were to continue to use it for the rest of your life at the worldwide average rate. By the time you die, you would have spent 6 years of your life on social media. 6 years. That's a long time. To put 6 years into perspective, in 6 years, you could serve 3 or 4 missions. You could have 4 or 5 pregnancies. Heck, you could get a bachelor's and a master's degree. But instead, we spent those 6 years on our smartphones, which may not be so smart after all with regard to our time management and living a useful life. But wait a second, we're better than that. We don't live in a world where we're forced to pick between 2 extremes, black or white, hot or cold. It's a remarkable feat that humans for millions of years have been able to evolve and adapt, live and learn and learn and live. We can simply think of our early ancestors as they struggled and tried to harness the power of fire and all of its associated risks. Certainly, there was much trial and error, and they needed to make many adjustments along the way. We too should follow the path of our early ancestors and make adjustments to our pressing circumstances. Rather than hiding underneath a rock, let us confront social media square in the face and see what she has to offer us so they can be of value. So let's take a look at the facts. The fact is, BYU is a missionary school. We enter to learn and we go forth to serve. 60% of the students at BYU are return missionaries. And with that being the case, it follows that we as a student body at large do care about others. We are able to put aside our selfish wants and desires and focus on others. But the question is, will we? I will be the first to admit that over the past 8 years that I have used social media, I've failed tremendously. I've merely used social media as a tool to boost my own ego and build my own brand. So all I ask of you is this: learn from my mistakes and don't do the same, but rather use social media as a tool to lift and inspire others. Use social media as a tool to share the gospel of Jesus Christ. For there are many out there in the world that will never have a chance to hear the gospel, but they might have a chance through social media. One of my favorite philosophers, Socrates, once said, quote, "Be kind, for every person you meet is fighting a hard battle," close quote. And with that being said, we have no idea how much of a difference we can make in someone else's life if we simply decide to turn outward on social media rather than inward. My challenge to you, my fellow college peers, is this: post something inspiring, uplifting, meaningful just once a day, or even just once a week. And I promise you that if you do, not only will you bring a smile to someone's face, but you may even change someone's life. And one day, when you reflect on your life, you will know that your time spent on social media was not in vain. Thank you.